Who are the most iconic, well-drawn LGBTQ+ characters in modern video games? You're about to find out. Newsflash: queer people exist, which is why it's so important that they appear in the video games we treasure. While there aren't as many examples of LGBTQ+ representation in gaming as we'd like, the industry has begun to slowly but surely edge open the closet door. That's why this Pride Month we want to celebrate the industry's best queer representation. To these developers, actors, and the characters they've created, we say, Shantae, you stay. For more videos like this one, subscribe to Logitech G and hit the notification bell before you sashay away, then you'll never miss another video. And here it comes, the undisputable list of video games' most wonderfully realised queer characters.
Don't worry, loves, cavalry's here.
Ellie isn't just the most high-profile queer protagonist on the list, she's also the most masterfully drawn. Naughty Dog are storytelling maestros, and when it comes to creating a conflicted but endearing queer protagonist, they utilised the same deft touch that's adorned the whole Last of Us series.
Check this out.
Though players discovered that Ellie is a lesbian in The Last of Us Left Behind, it's the sequel where her identity truly gets the chance to shine. We loved Ellie's relationship with Dina, from its tender beginnings with that first kiss that made us want to cry, to more troubled entanglements as the game progresses. No spoilers here, guys, don't worry. Ellie is a true queer icon that's made an impact on millions of LGBTQ+ gamers worldwide, and for that, she will always have a revered spot in the Queer Gaming Hall of Fame.
I think they should be terrified of me.
Trans people have only just started to receive any representation within games, so of course Life is Strange creators Don't Nod just went and set the gold standard. Tyler is one half of Tell Me Why's duet and the twin brother of co-protagonist Allison, a witty fishing obsessive with some seriously good-tasting clothes.
Oh, you like to fish?
Don't Nod consulted trans people when creating Tyler's character, which manages to carefully navigate overused trans tropes of pain and trauma. He wasn't just a hit with us, but trans people also applauded Don't Nod's commitment to authenticity of the trans experience. Tyler and Allison's power to relive memories means that Tell Me Why doesn't shy away from Tyler's gender identity, but instead integrates it as part of the game's central plot. Tyler is truly the trans representation we needed in 2020, and damn, we wish we looked that good with an undercut.
Brother, sister, we look out for each other.
It really should have been called Dragon Age Inquisition, because BioWare's 2014 entry into the series was ready to buy you a beer and dot down your digits. Even better, it was queer extravaganza, with some delightful romance options for lesbian, gay, and bi players. We hate to play favourites, but who in the cast could compete with Dorian, the quick-witted Tevinter mage who once uttered, "It's all very nice this flirting business, I am however not a nice man," before tearing your clothes off.
Chaos for everyone.
NE players can also romance Iron Bull, who has been confirmed to be pansexual by BioWare, while lesbian players were treated to a relationship with the extremely opinionated but lovable Sarah.
So call me stupid, but I believe the stuff not made up by dead people who failed.
BioWare has always remained a stalwart supporter of the LGBTQ romance options, and we hope that their future games continue by integrating identities who haven't had their chance to shine in video games. What about a non-binary Grey Warden? Or maybe an asexual apostate? We're waiting, BioWare.
I would not object to a closer relationship between us, my lord.
From the get-go, Blizzard's globe-trotting Team FPS embraced diversity by featuring heroes from countries across the world. Though it wasn't until a year after release that the game's iconic poster girl Tracer was revealed to have a girlfriend, and the game got its first queer representation. That's right, people, Overwatch's faster-than-light DPS is a lesbian, and has a girlfriend called Emily, who was introduced in an out-of-game comic.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
Little did we know that Tracer would soon be joined by gaming's ultimate dad meme, Soldier76. In 2019, another Overwatch comic references Soldier's old boyfriend, Vincent. While there's limited scope for their identities to be explored further in-game, Overwatch is an online FPS after all. We're hoping that Overwatch 2's more story-driven approach gives us a deeper glimpse into the lives of its queer cast.
Old habits die hard, I guess.
Being enormous fans of player NPC Rumpy Pumpy, of course BioWare has more than one entry on this list. How could we talk about LGBTQ+ characters without mentioning Mass Effect's premier Asari scientist and resident bisexual legend, Liara Tassoni?
Hello again, Shepard.
Both male and female Shepard are free to romance Liara, and thankfully, BioWare being BioWare, they continue to add even more queer romances in Mass Effect 2, 3 and Andromeda. Here's a shout out to Caden, Steve Cortez, PB, Jarl, Reyes and Suvi, who continued Liara's legacy by offering us intergalactic queer smoochies over the next decade. We can't wait to see what BioWare has in store for us in the next Mass Effect game.
It's been exciting.
Who didn't fall in love with Chloe during Dontnod's episodic masterpiece? The chaotic punk girl of Life is Strange is frustrating and wonderful in equal measure.
Yeah, okay.
And adds some much needed pizzazz to balance out Max Caulfield's more introverted personality. We don't want to give away too much though, because the weird and wonderful story of Life is Strange deserves to be experienced firsthand. And with a remaster on the way later this year, you should experience the heady heights of Max and Chloe's relationship for yourself.
Sounds fun. You're on.
Remember when Respawn dropped a game out of nowhere and it became an overnight success? Well, Apex Legends also parachuted in a smorgasbord of queer characters. It's a pretty long list, but here we go.
Come on, we got this. We got this.
The iconic Hunter Bloodhound has been confirmed by Respawn as non-binary. Loba, the game's resident thief and femme fatale, is bisexual. Gibraltar, Apex's tank-in-chief, is gay and has a boyfriend called Nicholas, a relationship explored in the game's comics. Fuse, Apex's latest addition to the roster, is a metalhead and explosives obsessive, as well as a confirmed pansexual. And last but not least, Valkyrie. The jetpack legend who launched her team to new heights is a lesbian. It's clear that diversity matters to the Respawn team, and given the modest size of the Apex roster, we're super jazzed to see so many queer characters flying the flag for the LGBTQ+ community.
Excellent. Time to destroy more opponents.
Indie game hit If Found asks players to scrub away illustrations from the diary of the game's protagonist Kasio. We loved the game's ethereal feel as Kasio struggles to keep herself rooted in reality, as well as her quest for acceptance and understanding as a trans woman from her family and those around her. Casio's journey reflects the experience of so many queer people as they try to find themselves in a world which doesn't want to let them be. If Found is a little queer masterpiece, and one of the very few examples of trans people sitting front and centre in a video game. That's right, BioWare got 3 entries in this list. They've been running LGBTQ+ storylines since the days of Baldur's Gate. Gen Z, you'll probably need to Google that one. But in the case of Juhani from the Knights of the Old Republic, they scored a double whammy. Not only was she one of the first cases of lesbian representation in video games, but she was also the first canonically queer character in Star Wars. That's right, she was a pioneer in a galaxy far, far away. Juhani is a Cathar, a cat-like species that are quick to anger and whose homeworld was crushed by the Mandalorians.
The fierce confrontation between us was nothing more than part of my training.
In the process of helping her conquer her rage, she can also be romanced, but only by female players. That is, assuming you didn't just kill her upon first encountering her on Dantooine. We recommend you don't put this kitty to the saber though, because who wants to save the galaxy without a little sapphic love to sweeten the deal?
I must give you my thanks.
She's the ace with grace, doing pride in deep space. Parvati is the naive, gibbering mechanic in Obsidian Entertainment's first-person RPG, The Outer Worlds, and is voiced beautifully by Ashley Birch, the actress behind Chloe from Life is Strange, hello again, and Horizon Zero Dawn's Aloy.
Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling.
Beyond being unbearably adorable, channeling huge Kaylee from Firefly energy, Parvati is also asexual, saying that her previous relationships didn't last long due to her lack of interest in sexual contact. Just a note here, asexual people can have long and fulfilling relationships. We just think Parvati has probably been struck with some poor luck. Thanks Obsidian for giving ace people an explicitly asexual character they can treasure.
I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing.
And that's a wrap on the best LGBTQ+ characters that video games have to offer. We've come a long way in the 40-odd years gaming has been around, but there is still so much more to be done. Make sure to give this video a like and comment your own favourite LGBTQ+ characters. Maybe by next Pride Month we'll have experienced even more incredible queer-inclusive games that represent the wonderful diversity within our community. Until then, why not subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.
We'll have to do it again. To tell the truth, I went to bed last night wishing it never had to end.